All right, guys. So what's up? It's been a collab after a long time. So yeah, it's been a while, like almost a year, but here we are. We're gonna get back into it because of school. I've been busy, but today we're gonna talk about retention, and a lot of my friends have tried it, and they've said that it's improved their life quite a bit. With me today we have Nav Jutla, and he has a YouTube channel himself, which is his name, Nav Jutla. And he's 17 years of age, and we also have Ekjot here, who's 15 years of age. So they've tried it out, as we know, right? Fapping and whatever, right? The Hub and all those sites, they can become a really bad addiction. Even kids are starting at very young ages. I've been doing it since October 2019, and the changes in my life have been extraordinary since, like being productive, more confidence, less brain fog, right? Much more spiritual. You guys know it, but today's not really much about me. It's more about these young teens with me. And I really feel like it's a big issue amongst the teens, especially because all over social media, there's so much sexualized content and everything. So we're going to speak off of their experiences. I'll let Nav start first because he's doing really good, man. My man here went 80 days doing it, and we've been nowhere close to doing it. So I kind of feel happy that he's one of the first people that reached out when he was doing it on retention. So let's hear from Nav. So Nav, yeah, go for it. Tell us how your life's changed, because it's more about you two guys today. So yeah, go take the stage.
ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਊਅਰ ਥੇ watching this video so say ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਹਨਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆ that I've gotten so far. Man, I can't believe it. It's been nearly 1 year since I've been on this journey, and oh man, I literally just looking at those days, when I couldn't get past like 3 days, 2 days, and man, 80-day streak. I honestly can't believe it. I'm very, very happy with the progress I've made, and it is definitely worth it.
All right. And what would you say, like, how has your life changed? Like, what kind of benefits would you say you really had? I wouldn't really say benefits, but like, what changes in your life have you seen? Because you said once you started doing retention, everything else fell into place. Like, what benefits would you see that you seen when you were doing this? Because you said like there were stages where you had the flat line, you didn't really want to go forward with it, you were kind of doubtful of it. Like, how do you say this journey's changed your life? Because you said you've done it for a year, so you've had some time doing it. You fell off, you've come back on, you're working hard. What benefits did you see besides self-control? Because a lot of people that tell me that they say that the only thing that they really see with doing retention is self-control, and they say they didn't really feel the other benefits, whereas you have to be productive while you're on it too, otherwise the sexual energy is just situated within one area. But so besides being productive or even self-control, what benefits do you see in your life like that you didn't have before? Like, because one was, just for starts, you said you had social anxiety. So what would you say in your experiences, because everybody's experience is different, but it's quite similar, what changes do you see in your life?
Okay, so let's just backtrack a couple of years ago when I first got introduced to it. This was by a friend. Yeah, absolutely overwhelmed by what I had seen. Obviously the dopamine rush, all that sort of stuff. Started out once and then it just spiraled out of control. And I didn't even know it, and it was very, very much normalized by, the society we live in today. And obviously the friends and the people I surround myself with, it was very, very normalized. And I never really thought much of it, but when it became very consistent, and when I did not do it for 2 or 3 days, I did feel very, very on edge. I did feel very sort of weird. I felt quite the brain fog, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was getting frustrated at times. I was quite anxious when I didn't indulge in that. So yeah, I was addicted really. And when I started I started to implement a lot of strategies, from YouTube videos. Obviously, I've watched your videos as well. They helped immensely, and I can relate to that a lot. And I just tried to do the basics, really put in some barriers and just see how I could ago. Like, I knew I'd have small streaks to start off with, and gradually I would build up, and I can safely say that that has been the case. And with practice, it does. Practice really does make progress. So yeah, in terms of the benefits, I would say I have a lot more energy. Personally, look, it's different for everyone, but for me as an individual, a lot more energy. You can put that energy to something else. Now, if I was to do it, the likelihood of me taking time out of my day to indulge in instant gratifications like that would be very, very unlikely now. In a week, I used to fap every day. The hub pretty much every day as well. Yeah, just having the thought of thinking about it just makes me sick, honestly. Oh man. Yeah, I don't want to go back to
I
my
know, 'cause
younger
we are
self.
having a conversation and stuff, like, there's obviously some side effects, not really side effects, but like when you first start doing it, it's almost like quitting any addiction. You start having withdrawal symptoms, flatline stage. You start to distance yourself away from people, right? Your friend circle will start to decrease, right? It can be a hard journey, but you know what? What they say, like I always say, short-term sufferings create long-term pleasures, whereas short-term pleasures, like you said, instant gratification, will lead to long-term suffering down the road. So, is it really worth it at the end of the day? That's where you have to weigh your weigh your choices in life, right?
Exactly. No, I totally agree. I mean, I've spoke to you this about before, and I don't have any problem, cutting off an individual. If I know, he or she is holding me back, then I'll take a stand on it. Whereas before, I was a bit sort of deluded in my own sort of thought process, and I never really knew. I'm out here encouraging people to be on self-improvement and start NoFap. Me as an individual, having done NoFap, that really kick-started my self-improvement journey. And I just feel that, look, I've done it for a year now, right? And yeah, the flatline, it was tricky, but I think, when you flatline, it's basically, your brain rewiring in a sense as well.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. I did do quite stuff, cold shower journal. I just kept myself so busy. But staying in nature, staying off tech. I mean, I remember, Jade, we had a conversation about this as well before. How did people live their lives? 100 years ago. Not even 100 years ago, but like 30 years ago, when there was no phones. People were always out and about, weren't they? Was there any instant gratification like we get now?
No.
It's a lot worse what we get nowadays. So again, let's look at the positives. Like in terms of the hub and stuff, that's been banned. I think in England this month actually. So under 18s won't be able to view it. So that's a victory in itself. So yeah, there are things heading in the right direction, but I think more needs to be done. Yeah, it's quite sad actually, because a lot of individuals, especially a lot of young kids, are introduced to this stuff and they're exposed to it, and it's very, very detrimental to their health and mental health in their lives. Yeah.
So from there, what I'll do is we'll transition over to Ekjot, Ekjot who's a couple years younger than you, and it's just getting worse down the road. To be honest, like I won't tell it by chance, but I know Ekjot started at a much younger age than you, me, or anyone I know, right? And that comes to show like what social media is doing, this exposure, right? Because everything on TikTok's just so sexualized, right? It's become an issue, and now when I even talk about it, a lot of the youngsters, they just make a joke of it. It's just like you said, it's just normal and stuff. But once you're on it and you start to understand how it's like messing up your life, yeah, it gets to an effect. Because I know Ekjot is starting this too. He's starting to improve, which is very good. It's nice, you know what? Because even though you get into it at a young age, you can get out of it at a younger age too. I started later, so I got out of it later. And same with you started at 14. So yeah, Ekjot started when he was quite young, younger than you even. But Ekjot, yeah. So like with you, I know you said you went for like, what was your longest? Like 20 days, 22 days? Like what was
like at least 22, 23, 24-ish days.
Yeah, that's all. And you said like you felt pure and stuff. Like, You want to like share your experiences, like how you felt
Yeah.
not indulging in that?
Yeah, so basically, I've been like doing it. Like I used to like do it a lot, and like I started realizing how it would be like a really big waste of my energy, because like usually I'd be like all like happy-ish and playful-ish, and then like after, like if I would do it, I would feel like all like that happiness, like that I was feeling before, would just drain out, and I wouldn't like feel like really like good. It just makes me feel really bad about what I did, because
Ekjot,
honestly,
can I just stop you there? That is exactly how I would feel. Exactly how I would feel. And I'm sure, Jathan, you've probably felt the same.
Oh yeah, bro. Like you know how you felt when how we were feeling like when we were children. Like everything just seems so nice. Like just doing like the average
life.
thing. You just feel like so nice doing it, and like before you're introduced into it, I think that's when like it gets messed up. Your like reality of life changes. Yeah, but you continue on, Nick Joe.
Yeah, so like I would what do you call it? Yeah, I wouldn't really feel so happy after, and like I would like start like, I noticed from my behavior got pretty like antisocial-ish. I would notice like I wouldn't be wanting close to people, and I had like hard time socializing with people, and it wouldn't really like that when I would do it, it wouldn't really help me, you know. So like I started like seeing like my best friend. He was telling me how he stopped doing it, and how like better he feels and more like happy-ish. And so I was like, I'm gonna give it a try. So then I could barely go 2 days without doing it,
Yeah.
and then once I once I tried, um yeah, it was really hard to start. I would go on for 3 days and I couldn't do anything else, or even like 10 hours, and I would be like, no, I can't keep going. And then the day I reached a week, I tried it once. After I tried for a week, and oh my god, I was so happy. But then when I did it, I was like, why did you do it? Why didn't you just keep going? Keep going. Why don't you keep going? So then I like felt bad about myself doing it, and then I just kept doing it again, because when in that moment of you doing it, it feels so good. But then you just when you like finally like finish, it it just makes you really upset, like as I explained before. So um I was really mad at myself after. So then I kept doing it for like 2-3 days again, and then finally I redid it again, and I went like 2 weeks. I went 2 weeks, and I was like, oh my goodness, and I felt so happy, and like inna खुश सी भैन चोद I couldn't explain. Anyway, and so after that, I felt like, yeah, I've done it. And while doing it for 2 weeks, I didn't experience I did experience like a lot of like happiness and like everything, but I didn't really experience the benefits that Jathan was talking about. It's like people would say, oh, I didn't feel these benefits. Yeah, that was with me too. I didn't feel any. It's like while I would like not do it, I still wanted to do it really bad. Like I couldn't. It was really hard. But like the only thing that was keeping me like from doing it, as like Nav was saying, like all Waheguru's kirpa, I was like, no, I believe in Waheguru. I don't want to do this shit. It doesn't help in life. This is not like right.
I'll add one thing. I have two important things to add before I forget them. First is, even though your streak ends, what a lot of people do is they start binging. You don't want to start doing that. You fall, you get right back up. That's number one. And number two is why I feel like sometimes for you guys, why you guys might have got messed up more and why you guys don't see the benefits as quickly. But I was doing it before, even though I took it serious October 21st. I was go for a few days, this and that. I feel like because you guys have gone into this so quickly that the benefits are not going to be there because you started at such a young age, right? You guys have not really like, before you guys even hit like 16 or something, like before you're even really a teenager, right? You're actually considered a teenager when you're 16. Like even you guys, if you guys are starting at 13, 14, under 10 years of age, you guys haven't even lived your life as youth. So the thing is, for that time to recover, it's going to take a lot more time, because like with Nav, he would just go 20 days, he would go 30 days, he wouldn't feel anything. But for me, if I go 23 days, I would kind of feel it. But like Nav said not until he kind of kept pushing. And to be honest, like, fuck the days. To be honest, like, screw the days, right? Just keep going. Like, because the thing is, if you keep thinking about the days, it goes through your head. One day at a time. Keep going. And like, I'll say Nav, like, Ekjot, he said he didn't really see any real benefits. So, like, he had higher energy. He felt more pure. He felt more happy. Those are the beginning stages, right? But Nav, what do you have to say? Like, I know you already talked about it, but like he said, I don't really experience it. Like, would you kind of agree with what I say? What do you have to add on to that? What I have to say?
Well, yeah, I do agree with you. Actually, look, we're all different, aren't we?
Everyone's experience is a little bit different. Same with God.
Yeah.
Like, everyone that I guess tries to get spiritual, it's a little bit different. But
Can I add on something? Can I add on to something?
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, God helped me too. But also, my best friend, he also got me to like get onto cold showers. Actually, I started taking a lot cold. I just took a cold shower like an hour ago. Actually, I've been taking a lot of cold showers, and they actually like make me feel way better, and it actually helps me not do it. So like I noticed when I take a cold shower, it makes me feel really good because like actually when I'm not like trying to like say too much, but when I do take a shower, I turn some Gurbani on and like listen to it while I'm like having all that water on my head, everything. I have my eyes closed and I'm just like reciting Bani in my head while I'm like being cleaned off. While I'm cleaning myself, I'm trying to put all that pure Gurbani into my head with that cold shower. The coldness, it's like making me like I'm breathing really hard. Everything. I'm trying to focus with that Gurbani playing. I'm trying to focus, and it actually really helps me focus and puts like a lot of like sense into my mind. And then after when I get out, I feel so happy and good. I just don't do it. I don't think about it, and I actually like do some activities to like not think about it and do it, and it actually helps. Yeah.
Amritaris take cold showers in the morning too. To be honest, when they wake up, their ishnana is cold water, so they take a cold shower, right? Wash their case, then they read Path. So yeah, that's a good practice. But yeah, we had a really good conversation here from the two of you youngsters. A lot of youngsters are dealing with it. Some of them don't take me serious, right? They're like, "Oh, you're talking BS." I know people mock me and stuff when I talk about it, but to be honest, there's two of you here. Hopefully, you guys can have like a strong influence on the youngsters too.
I
It's
also
getting
have
really
another
bad.
thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but like I said I did do 2 weeks, but after that, when I finally like I told Chaitan and a lot of people, I went on for 22 to 23ish days, and I saw like the benefits actually that Chaitan was talking about. Like I actually experienced them, and I felt so like I didn't even feel happy. I felt way more than happy. I felt like I was like through the roof, man.
Yeah, it's hard to experience. It's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. Yeah.
You're like on a natural high, isn't it, when you abstain from all that
Natural,
stuff?
yeah. Like people be like, "How are you just sitting there? You're just sitting there and you're like just enjoying life." Yeah, because my dopamine receptors are. I feel like a kid again.
Yeah, ajkal like Loki, they just make a joke out of it and laugh at you. But then because they don't care, they don't understand how it feels. But when they actually do it, if they do it, they realize that yeah, this person is right. And
What was that saying called? Best for less. What was it? Can someone remind me?
But yeah, but I think I think that should be a good wrap up because we don't want this video to go too long. But yeah, I appreciate having both Nav Jatala and Ekjot with us today, and hopefully it can give you guys some insight. It does work. It does work. I know it's hard to believe it doesn't work because of society, doctors, they all tell you not to do it. Or try to remember that in the olden days, the Casa doesn't do this, right?
That's a good point.
Spiritualists, they do this kind of stuff. So yeah, it does help. And then we'll end it off there.
Yeah, just a quick one from me because I know obviously
we'll just wrap it up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, I know you said that you know what I felt. A lot of people are different, obviously. So you know, you felt a bit benefits on day 20, 30, but you know, for me, it was a little bit further down the line. So if I remember correctly, I had a solid flat line, which spanned from like day 1 to about day 40, I'd say, during that period. And then after that day 40 plus, it got a lot easier for me. So Yeah, at the moment I'm going quite well. Productivity has been quite good. I've been keeping myself busy, and yeah, I'm just not indulging in any of the, um, like the triggers and stuff. I've pretty much blocked out all my triggers. So if I was scrolling through TikTok or something like that, if I saw some like content, I wouldn't really like bust my nut over that, would I? Like, I just remember it's just not me anymore, and that's just stuff that I wouldn't indulge in. So
You're
yeah,
different.
very happy with I'm a different person. Very happy with the progress I've made. Obviously, people, they can see I'm changing, but they can't accept it. And fair enough. I mean, obviously, I'm going to keep progressing forward, keep leveling up in my life. Obviously, if there's some friends out there, if they need any help, I'll try and advise them on what to do. But I can't keep wasting my energy on them. I need to invest that energy in myself, in my
Sure.
graph, and keep leveling up again.
Lone
And
wolf
you know
journey.
what? In a year, you can actually do a lot. And a lot to the youngsters out there and the people watching this video, all I can say is just literally trust the process, because, yeah, it does work. So I wish you the very best of luck. And if you do have any questions, be sure to message me via DM on Discord and hit me up on my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, thank you for having me on the channel, Jason, on the video as well.
All right, we ended off there. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa.
Because
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
GDG for the